Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Core Class Autobot Hot Rod from the brand new Transformers Legacy line from Hasbro. So as you can see here, we have the new cardboard style of packaging with the little open window here. No more bubble on card. We still have really nice artwork here on the top. You can see Hot Rod right in there. Really nice artwork over here on this side. And then over here we have that Autobot kind of mural that's on the side of every packaging for Autobots in Legacy. Not too much going on the bottom. And then on the back we have the robot mode and the vehicle mode. So this figure was also available in the Kingdom packaging at the very tail end of that line, but they released it again in the first wave of Legacy because a lot of people didn't get a chance to get it. So now we are seeing it again in Legacy, and this is the first time I've gotten it. So very excited to check this guy out. I'm going to go ahead, get him out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here he is out of the packaging. He looks pretty cool. Some nice paint applications here. Got the flame pattern and the Autobot symbol there on the chest. The head looks really good. Eyes are nicely painted. He's got his trademark wing here on the back. He comes with this sword, which has actually got a considerable amount of blue paint on it. It actually looks really, really nice. And you can see that that just pegs into his hand like that. I'm going to put that off to the side for the moment. So he's got a few things. The head can move side to side. No problems there. You have a ball joint here in the shoulder, but it's kind of restricted by the wing. You can kind of move this joint as well, like actually in the body here, so you can use that if you need to. You have a little ball joint here at the elbow, but it really makes it seem like his shoulder part, like his bicep, is way longer than his forearm, which is just a little awkward. You do have some nice silver paint here on the sides for the, I guess, smokestacks, exhaust pipe, whatever you want to call those. Nothing in the waist because this piece here pegs into the back. But you do have a ball joint in the hip. Some nice little bit of orange paint there. Then you have a ball joint here in the knee. My one knee is ridiculously loose, which is kind of a bummer. But he can still stand and everything, but that one's really, really loose. He's also got all this kibble here on the back. So this is going to become the whole like roof and hood of the car. And that's just hanging off the back of his legs, which I don't love. It would have been nice if there was a way to maybe rotating at the... I mean, I get it's core class, you know, it's not the height of engineering, but it's just all that hanging off the back is not the best. But it is what it is. But yeah, so he's got decent articulation. I wish he had a little bit more. I mean, a waist swivel would have been nice, but I get it. I kind of do wish that the bicep part and the forearm part were a little bit more in proportion, but again, not a deal breaker. For the most part, he's a pretty good looking. Like I said, I love the head, I love the wing, the chest, all that really looks solid, really looks like Hot Rod. And I mean, the legs do as well. It's just the kibble here on the back of the legs and the fact that the one knee on mine is ridiculously loose. I don't know why that is. But yeah, overall, not too bad. Real quick, here is Optimus. Next to him, you can see that they're roughly the same size. Optimus is a little taller, maybe. Just a smidge. But yeah, for the most part, he fits in with the rest of the core class. He looks pretty good. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the transformation. Alright, so transformation's really not too complicated. Maybe not what you'd expect, but what we're going to do is we're going to start by just kind of popping the wing back, and this section will just kind of hang there on the back. You're going to use these joints here in the shoulder to bring these arms all the way up, and then you can see that there is a tiny tab here on the inside of the forearm, and that's going to tab in right there into the body. So we're just going to bring that up and do the same with the other arm. And you can kind of see a little bit better from this view how they peg in nice and snug. So that's really good. Then we're going to come around to the legs here, and they're going to kind of pop out to the side like that. You can go ahead and unfold all of these and just kind of leave them straight up for the time being. So like I said, you can see that that's the entire windshield and hood of the car. So you want to kind of just make sure that these are out far enough that you can sneak this past, because this has to kind of sit down like this. So next what you want to do is you see that there's a little hook here, and that has to kind of hook on there. And then there's these tabs here on the side. Where are they? Right here on the wing piece that have to kind of fit into here. So you want to make sure that this comes in and this all really sits snug in there. There we go. So once that's in, you'll hear that snap into place. This comes in. Make sure that that fits in there and slides in, and then you can click that onto this place here on the side. So once that's all nice and secure, you'll be able to peg the two legs together right there, and then they'll snap into each other. So at this point, you're going to just take these two pieces and just really push them together. as tightly as you can. They don't always like to stay, but I find that if you really kind of, if you get the legs all done first and really snapped securely into place, you'll have a better time having this come down and stay in place. So then this is all just going to come down here like this. And you really got to really push right about here, because that's where it kind of pegs into the body. And then you can kind of push this all together and really make this all stay pretty solidly. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble, because I was transforming the first couple times and like this whole section kept popping up. And I realized that you really have to get this back part all really situated and pegged together. And then this will come together and stay together. So this looks pretty good. I really like this a lot. If for some reason you wanted to remove the wing, you can. I don't know why you'd need to, but you can see here that there's a little peg here. So if you wanted to, for some reason, peg that into the back of the wing there, you could. And then kind of have him hold this as like a larger weapon. You could do that, because you see there's a little peg hole here. So this would fit any of the robot's hands. Just for fun, I'll give it to Optimus. Or really, I could peg this in on the side of Optimus's. And now it won't fit. Let me see if I can get this to work. He might actually not be able to hold it, because he's got kind of the recessed areas. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, he can kind of hold it. So you can kind of do that if you want to make like a, almost like a gun with the sword and the wing. So you can do things like that. Otherwise, you can just leave the wing attached all the time. It just pops right back on here very easily. There you go. Otherwise, you have one of two options. You could peg this on here in the vehicle mode, or you could peg this on up here in the vehicle mode. So whichever you prefer, two options to mount the sword there in vehicle mode. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Like I said, the wing looks good. The paint applications are good. I do really miss the Autobot symbol here on the hood of the car. I mean, maybe because it splits in half, they didn't bother with it, but I feel like they could have just put an Autobot symbol there. That's really my only complaint about the vehicle mode. The silver here on the side looks really nice. All lines up really nicely. Rolls pretty decently, which is appreciated. I mean, you can kind of see the entire robot mode there. It looks like he just really tucked himself into the fetal position. But yeah, other than just the Autobot symbol missing there on the front, I actually really, really like this vehicle mode. So I think Hot Rod's a lot of fun. He's not perfect. I really don't love all the kibble hanging off the leg, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. And I'm really bummed that the one knee on mine is really super loose. But maybe that's just a QC thing with mine and not hopefully a problem across all of these. But either way, I'd still pick him up even in spite of those few flaws. He really looks good. I do like the wing. I like the head. I like the chest. All the paint applications are really sharp. The forearms are a little short in comparison to the rest of the arms, which I think is a little weird, but again, not a deal breaker by any means. So I definitely still recommend picking him up. The vehicle mode really works. When you can get everything really securely pegged in, it really looks like a fantastic vehicle mode, and I really like it a lot. So they did a really nice job there. Real quick before I wrap up, I wanted to kind of show off how the sword is working, because that's supposed to be part of a larger weapon. So this is the gun hilt piece from Iguanus. So far, if we take this, and then this just kind of pops in there, and that's what we got going so far. Skywarp is going to come with another piece that pegs into the bottom so that these figures can hold it. In the meantime, if you wanted to just have them kind of hold this as like a giant bladed gun thing, you could, if you don't want the other piece. I like the idea of them each coming with a piece for a larger weapon, but so far this is a little weird. I just think the sword is really small in comparison to this weapon. I feel like it should just be a little bigger. I don't know how they would do it, because it kind of has to fit inside of it, but maybe they could have not had these pieces on the side, and that way they could make it a little bigger or something. I don't know. Just seems like this piece is so much larger than this piece. It could also be a situation where maybe they had this designed first and then went back and retroactively came up with pieces that could fit with it. That's also a possibility. I'm not sure. But overall, I think the sword's kind of cool, and I think the fact that you can combine them into a larger weapon is kind of a neat idea. And I mean, they're $10 figures, or I guess technically they're like $11.99 now, because everything's price kind of went up. But even still, for the price, I think these are really fun little figures. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with the core class, and I think Hot Rod is definitely one to add to your collection. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.